What's up, DeFi family? It's Lucas here again with another video. If you liked the last videos, make sure you press subscribe. And even if you like this one, press the subscribe and the notification bell somewhere down below here. So I wanted to make a new video because we're out here, we're being degens, we're trying to farm for yield, but we're also trying to uncover the next big 10x yield farm. At least I am. But if you're watching, I'm guessing you are as well. So let's have some fun with it and see what happens. So the one that I want to talk about today is Polycat. So if you're familiar to Polygon, and if you've been around for in the DeFi world for a while, which in this case would be just about 90 days or so on the Polygon network, Polycat had their first yield farm, which used the fish token. Launched about $60, again, tanked to about $5 right now. So again, it's just what happens with all these farms. As people start to accumulate tokens, they start dumping them, and if there's no use case for the token, then you see what happens. It's a farm and dump cycle where there's more sellers and less buyers, and the people that are hurt at the end of the day are the ones that are buying the token to speculate on it. But what you really want to do is buy a farm token and earn some yield on it if you're gonna speculate. So Polycat actually just launched their second generation farming ecosystem, and this one uses the PAW token. So whereas other farms are using DeFi, they're using Sushi, they're using QuickSwap to create these farms, Polycat actually is aiming to create their own trading ecosystem, so their own AMM. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be creating liquidity pairs. So again, that's also a risk that you're taking because you're locking in your liquidity into something quite new. But again, these guys have been around for a while in the DeFi world, and yeah, this whole UI has been revamped, and so far I'm liking what I'm seeing, and the team has definitely done something to really switch it up and give us something a little new and fresh. So from the top to bottom, that you have a lot of options for farms, and right now the APR is pretty ridiculous. It's only the second day, but these APRs are holding up, and in my opinion, the reason why they're holding up is because the rewards, when you harvest them, you don't gain them right away. So you can't go into this whole farm and dump cycle where the token price starts to decline significantly. But it might help smooth it out to be a little bit slower. I still think that's what's going to happen with the PAW token, but hopefully this allows you to earn more yield than you have in depreciation in the actual PAW token as inflation starts to ramp up and devalue the PAW token. So I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I try and stay away from native tokens in general, but earning them obviously is not a bad strategy. So they do have USDT to WBTC, they have BTC to WMATIC, DAI to WMATIC, ETH to WBTC. So again, I'm going to choose a yield farm with low impairment loss. So what that means is, I want one where both sides of the token go up at the same pace or down at the same pace. So a high correlation between the two, and that helps you capture the upside of both the tokens. So in my case, I think WBTC and WMATIC are fairly correlated with one another, and I'm bullish on the whole Matic ecosystem or Polygon network now, regardless. So I'm going to supply about $1,000 worth of my assets into this. So as you can see here, the first step you want to do is right behind my little screen here is to get WBTC and WMATIC and supply them. So you can choose QuickSwap, you can choose Sushi, DeFi, whatever you feel most comfortable with in getting these actual tokens. But once you have the tokens, you're going to be supplying the liquidity. So here we're going to add 400 WMATIC, wrapped MATIC, and 400 wrapped BTC. We're going to press supply. And I'm going to increase the gas so the transaction is faster. So right now the Matic network or the Polygon network is fairly slow because of the Poly network hack. That's an interesting story. Apparently there was a bridging scandal where the hacker gained access to about 600 million in tokens. And he's basically holding on to them hostage, basically saying, hey, listen, I have no use for the money. I'm either going to burn the token or just do nothing with them. So comment down below. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on what you think is going to happen in this situation. So do you think like the ID of the hacker is going to be released? Do you think he's going to give back the funds? Or do you think he's just going to burn the funds or just put them in a wallet that no one has access to? You know, it sucks for everybody that was involved in that scam. But that's just the level of risk that you take when you start to interact with, you know, smart contracts, and there's a smart contract risk. As much as people say that there's no risk and all this yield is coming from nothing, there's still a level of risk that you take in partaking into these. But I think that generally speaking, if you are cautious and yeah, and if you review the project, the team, and in general their track record, you should be getting away with, you know, hopefully never getting hacked and never losing your funds. So now that that's completed, we're going to go back into the farms and staking, and we're going to stake our LP token. So as you see here, we're going to deposit the max amount. Again, increase the gas fees to make the transaction faster. And the nice part about this is that all of these farms actually don't have any deposit fees and they don't have any withdrawal fees. You know, that's obviously subject to change over time. Maybe they do create a deposit fee or a withdrawal fee, but hopefully that is announced before. And of course, if you've already deposited your funds, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. So as you can see here, you know, we've started earning. We got 0.001 PAW token. And so what that means is that you're going to be releasing, or you're going to be receiving your PAW token over the course of 30 days. So I think this is an interesting farm because the tokens that you harvest are vested over a 30-day schedule. So it means if you earn $100 a day in tokens, that $100 when you claim it is going to be released over 30 days. So about $3 per day is going to be released. And that prevents that whole velocity of the tokens being used just to start selling, which I think is a good thing in the short term for the PAW price. And I think it's also a good thing for the platform because, you know, that APR, you know, as far as PAW token goes, you know, if it remains high or even starts going up as demand starts to rise, what it's going to do is add more TVL into the ecosystem and pull it away from some of the other yield farms like DinoSwap. So certainly there's a huge amount of risk and competition in this space. But again, I think what they're doing is fairly interesting, and it's going to allow this farm to have a little bit more longevity than others. Now, I think if you get into it relatively early, you know, today is day 2, and I still think that it's an attractive farm ecosystem, and I think you can make out with a good amount of PAW tokens after all things are said and done. So yeah, I mean, this is a new play for me. I wish you guys luck in it too. I'm gonna try and track the progress of this farm. As you can see, I have $950 worth of liquidity. So we'll come back maybe in a week's time to see how it's doing, see how many PAW tokens I actually earned, and hopefully we don't see the PAW price collapse. But if it does, you know, I'll give you guys an update, and hopefully we can find the next yield farm to play after that. So make sure you guys subscribe to the videos if you guys enjoyed this one and the other ones. And if you haven't watched the other ones on DinoSwap, still relevant right now, so please take a look. And make sure you smash that like button for one, and press that notification bell to get all my all the updates on when the new videos are coming out. Take care, guys.